to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.
Well, hello, we're back at Talk Labor, and this is your host, Jerry Williams. And you know, we've been on kind of a voyage. We've been gone for a while with my company, my artists, and we're having a great time all over New York and everywhere. We're back now, and we're here to talk about some of the things that's going on here in America, in Illinois, and in Chicago. But before we get to that, you know what I always say, that you have a voice here. You have a megaphone here. I want you to talk about some of the things that are very important to you, whether it's good, bad, and different. Talk about it so we'll know what's going on. If you don't talk about it, no one is going to know about it. In other words, if you keep quiet and don't say anything about the things that are detrimental to you, it can and will become a quiet injustice, and it could destroy you, your family, and everybody around you. So speak up. That's what we're here about. That's why we're here. Speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. You see what's going on in America. And folks, this is not anyone's America but yours. When I say that, every citizen in America this country belongs to, because they need all of us to make it up. Okay? And you know where I'm leading to. Some of the things that's been going on in this country that you've been seeing over the last few months or year. And that is the murders of our young black men and women by who? Rogue cops. If you don't know anything about Talk Labor, you would know that we were talking about these rogue cops well before anyone else was talking about them. We were talking about how they were being shot and murdered. We were talking about in Chicago how every time they kill a young black man, mainly men or woman, they would turn around and say, oh, they ran away from us and then they turned and pointed a gun at us. I mean, it got so routine that they would say it on every murder that they did with these kids. Only difference in Chicago that's happening in other cities is you haven't caught these murderers on camera yet. Now, when I say murderers, I'm not talking all Chicago policemen, because they're not. They do their job like they're supposed to. I'm talking about the rogue cops. Talked about this before. You all remember, if you watch this show, and I know you do, we talked about this because of a show that my wife and I saw some years ago, Jerry Springer, and they had black people on the panels, and then he had also Ku Klux Klan people. Something happened and a fight broke out, and these guys were throwing chairs and hitting each other and doing crazy stuff. And finally, one of the guys, one of these Klans people, jumped up and said, "That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna show you. We're gonna join the police force, and we're gonna get elected into office, and we're gonna show you we can kill these niggers legally." I said niggers because that's what they said. These niggers legally. Somehow I believe that that's happening right now. You think about what's going on. You can be passive about it if you want to. There's a way to stop this. There's a way to stop it. You know, it's the ballot or the bullet. And I choose the ballot because when you vote these clowns out of office. They can't put these knuckle-dragging Neanderthals in there as cops and let them murder you and do the things that they do and then get them off. For instance, here in Chicago about a week or so ago, policeman was, I think his name was Saracen, was charged with murdering with manslaughter, reckless manslaughter. He shot into a crowd of young African Americans because he said that they were too loud. Now, understand what I'm saying. He didn't point the gun like this. He shot over the back of his shoulder like this, just shot into the crowd. Well, you know what happened? He hit a young, beautiful black girl in the head, murdered her. Brought him up on charges, right? And the prosecutor presented a very good case, because I watched it. Judge got up and said, well, I'm going to dismiss this case because the prosecutor charged him with the wrong thing. I said, you bastard. The prosecutor charged him with the wrong thing when she charged him with reckless homicide. Now, this cop had an unregistered gun. He was off duty with an unregistered gun. He shoots into a crowd of young African Americans because he thought they were too loud. And they say that they let him off because, this judge let him off because he said, well, they didn't charge him with the right thing. They charged him with reckless homicide. He said they should have charged him with murder. Now, think about it. If they had charged him with murder, he would have said they charged him with the wrong thing. They should have charged him with reckless homicide. We know what time of day it is. We're not stupid. You know, we left our stupid head outside. We're not stupid. Now, he murdered this girl. Now, this was not the only incident that this man had. He was also involved with the murder of another young man at Inglewood, over there by Inglewood High School, where they came up on this guy's car. He didn't know who it was. It was cold outside, and the police had these hoods on, masks on, because they claimed that they were cold. And this guy didn't know what, so he rolled his windows up and tried to take off in his car, and they shot him dead. They shot him dead. Said he tried to run over them. The same guy. Then he shoots this young lady, and they let him off. And he had the audacity. Now, the problem I got was in Chicago is that the police superintendent, I think his name is McCarthy, he said that they should never brought him to trial because he wasn't guilty of anything. This is the chief of police that said that, McCarthy. You see, that's what I mean about you control it. If you vote in the right person to run the city, the right alderpersons, you don't get this kind of garbage, this McCarthy, because if that's his mentality, that this man should not have even been brought to trial, what the hell is he thinking when he goes out there to train these people? They're murdering out people out there. If you ever watch the cowboy pictures, you know, like back in the old days where they would kill Indians and say, oh, well, he was just an old Indian. You know, this is the concept that they have with African Americans, but we're not going to take that. Because this country belongs to everybody, not your little chosen few. I got big problems with it, yes. I got a big problem with it. But if you've been watching this show, you know it. I talked about this for quite some time, the road cops. I'm just so happy the rest of the country is catching up with us now. They're seeing it because, what? Social media. People are starting to catch them on camera. Oh, and you know, even when they catch them on camera, they still would say that, well, you know, they didn't charge him with the right thing. With the little kid in Cleveland, a little 12-year-old that had a toy gun, they pulled up on him and within 2 seconds shot him dead. Within 2 seconds of pulling up on this kid, shot him dead. And then they said that it was the kid's fault. It was in the paper. They said it was the kid's fault for having the little toy gun. How long are we going to take this? Cleveland. You know, African Americans, get up off your asses and go vote. Get these people out of office. That's how you get them. Get them out of office. Now, I forgot to say that this cop that shot this girl in Chicago, I did tell you he had an unregistered gun. But you ever heard of drop guns? When a cop shoots somebody and they go drop a gun? What was he doing with an unregistered gun? It just leads me to believe that if he murdered somebody, again, he had that gun to drop there. I'll say it. Other people act like they're afraid to open their mouth, but I'll say it. You know, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I want people to understand that you have a right to speak up. And if you don't speak up, they will keep doing it. While I admire our people to get out there and march, because I get out there and march with them. But you got to do a little bit more than that. You got to do a little more than that. These are dudes sitting back at home watching you and laughing about the fact that you're marching. Here, look at them march out there. Yeah, we kill us another one tomorrow because we get off. Nobody's going to put us in jail. I like the start of what's going on over in Baltimore as far as the elected officials are concerned. I like what the mayor is saying. I hope that she follows through. I hope that she follows through on what she's saying. Because if she does and bring justice to that area, that lets you know that there's some hope. And even if she don't get the justice, at least she's trying. Baltimore, you voted in the right people. And I'm not talking about because she's African American. I'm talking about because she says she wants to get to the bottom of it. She's not afraid of it. The mayor of New York told the news media that he tells his son to be very careful out there. And the president of the policemen's union in New York had a hissy fit about him saying that. Who does he think he is? You know what? I'm a strong union person. But this guy's not about union. When you're trying to divide people like you're trying to do, you're trying to justify your existence. Whatever your name is in New York, you're trying to justify your existence. I hope that these policemen come together and vote in a real union person so they can help try to get to the bottom of what's going on. You need to have the police and the community working together. It's not a hard thing. If you stop with that us against them, I noticed that the police would tell the media, you know, when they have these drive-by shootings and all this garbage that's going on, they say that, well, we would help them if the community would talk to us and have confidence in us and tell us what's going on and give us information. Well, I understand that. But also, the community feels if the police would tell us when these murderous cops are murdering our people, talk to us and give us that information. Did you see how it worked, McCarthy? You know, you guys try to hide and cover up your people when you know they murdered people. And especially you African Americans, like the guy did in Carolina. He tried to cover up for the guy when he know this guy murdered this man. You know, so we got problems. We got problems that we need to work on, things that we need to change, and we're going to have to change it. In this country, we're going to have to change it if we expect this country to continue to operate as it should, or even operate much better than what it's operating now. Now, a couple of things I saw in the case with Freddie, what's Freddie's last name? Gray. Freddie Gray. Young man that was murdered over there in Baltimore. And I know people saying, well, Jerry, you're prejudging. No, he was murdered. And I'm going to say it. He was murdered. In my opinion, he was murdered in Baltimore. You got now, they're trying to throw some stuff out there now saying, well, you know, one prisoner said that he was really over in the van trying to hurt himself. This is a policeman's report, one of the policeman's report, that he was evidently, I guess, allegedly in the van with his hands handcuffed and with already I think it was a spine that was severed, already a severed spine. Now he's over there trying to bang his head against the wall and kill. They're trying to muddy up like they did every other case. Every other case. And we're just not having that. I like the way this mayor's talking. I like the way that Loretta Lynch is talking. Let's find out if they're going to step up and do what they need to do and not be afraid. You know, you cannot sit back and say, well, I don't want to make people mad because I don't want to make them angry. Damn it, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. If they did it, then they should go to jail. You know, we watched this guy murder this young man in New York. choke him to death. We know that this man murdered this young boy in Ferguson, Missouri. We know that they murdered this 12-year-old kid. We know they murdered this young man in the Walmart store. We know that they murdered this young man in Carolina. We saw it on our eyes. And for people to sit up and tell you, well, that's not the way it happened, there's some evidence, it just makes me sick. Makes me sick. And I don't care who it is, black, white, brown, whomever you do it to, it's wrong. And policemen have done it too, more than just African Americans, but on a percentage basis, they do it 28% more to African Americans than they do their counterparts. And what are you afraid of? I don't know. I got some stuff that I'm going to show you when I come back that's going to knock your socks off. It's going to knock your socks off because it's going to show you the difference in how they treat African Americans and how they treat Caucasians in the same retrospect. I had my engineers pull that together because I wanted to show it to you. Also in this show, we're going to get down to some of the things that we're going to talk about that mom that attacked her son. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the things that's going on in this city labor-wise with Forrest Claypool making his move and why he's making his move from where he is now to where he's going. You're going to be surprised. And we're going to talk about some of the things that I think is very important to labor with, with the president of the union, about the president of the union at ATU. We're going to have the president of the union at ATU on our next show, next Thursday, to talk about some of the things that's very, very important to labor in the city of Chicago. Important things that is in regards to his local and to labor itself. It's going to be very interesting. But I got some good things I want to talk to you about coming up that you're not going to believe until you see it with your own eyes. And then I know you're going to believe it then. Okay? But what we're going to do, we're going to take a break right about here. And we're going to come back and we're going to dive right into this. So we're going to see you in a couple of minutes. We'll be right back.
Time doesn't matter to them. People talking without speaking, trying to take what they can. I ask you remember, prospect, how could I forget?
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop.
Well, we're back, and as I promised you, we're going to move into some things that I don't think you're going to like it. You're going to like it. The first thing I want to talk about is, I know you all been watching television. You saw this mom jump up and down on her son. Why don't you run that clip number one?
Gray is the man who died with severe spinal injuries while in police custody. Among the images seen worldwide during the rioting, this one. Single mother of 6, Toya Graham. Get over here, man! Slapping her son Michael in the head after seeing him throwing rocks at police.
He gave me eye contact. And at that point, not even thinking about cameras or anything like that, that's my only son. And at the end of the day, I don't want him to be a Freddie Gray.
Graham has praise from Baltimore's police commissioner, Anthony Batts, who said he wished more parents had taken charge of their kids. Batts says activists and...
Now, what do you think about that? I think a lot of people have their opinions about that particular situation. And I heard people on Good Morning America saying, hey, she should be Mom of the Year. She took care of her business. She smacked him upside that head, and she did. I think she's a damn fool. I really do. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that when your kid get out of line, you should be whooping their ass and doing what you need to do. But in this situation, this young man was just expressing his feelings about what happened to one of his young friends. Now, get this. When Florida State lost the championship game to Ohio, little white kids was turning cars over, throwing rocks at the police, doing all kinds of things. You know what they said? Oh, they're just letting off their frustrations. But this kid was upset because one of his people were murdered. And he was demonstrating and showing his emotions about that. And Mom comes down and starts beating him to death. Now, when we were younger and that happened, we did that. We showed our emotions about it. We stood up, and I think they're talking about she's the hero. I think he was the hero. Not going there so much going down there throwing in rocks and stuff like that, but I think he was the hero to stand up and say, I don't like what y'all doing. Mom, I don't think you should be beating me all across my head in front of my partners, And if you want me to have respect for you, you should have it for me. One other big thing about that. You see how she was beating them all across the head and all that? And nobody talked about arresting her. But Adrian Peterson took a switch and whipped this little boy, and they wanted to hang him. They wanted to hang him. They said, oh my God, he's whooping that child. Oh my God. Look, but now she was down there protecting these policemen from her son with a rock, and they got all kind of cannons. And they were down there just praising her. Oh, look at her, she's so great. I think she was a damn fool. Now, anybody that want to call in and say I'm wrong, that's fine. Now, you can email me at talklabor@gmail.com, tell me I'm wrong. But I stand by what I'm saying. I think that parents do need to continue to discipline their kids like they're supposed to, okay? But I think that this mom was way out of line. If she didn't like her son down there, come down there and get him, okay? But you don't go on a display so people can say, look at her, oh my God. See, that's what I'm talking about, those little thug kids, and she's showing him. No, her son is a bright young man in school. All these young kids were down there to show their protest for the murder that was committed. And I think she was dead wrong in what she did. And anybody that don't like it, let's talk about it. That's what this show is about. Come on down and talk about it. I have no problem with you disagreeing with me, and have no problem with you agreeing with me. Okay? But you know, and I guess the reason I get to that point, because people forget, it was all about the murder of young Freddie Gray. It was all about what these guys did to him. Had you not got him on camera, it would have just been another black man that banged his head on the truck and died. But they got you. And they continue to get you. And now more cameras are popping out. I saw one situation where this is a white woman. She was filming, and the cop came over and ran over and took her camera and stumped it in the ground. But he didn't know another guy was filming him. It is so beautiful now that we're starting to see what's going on. We knew. We've been talking about it for years. We're trying to tell people for years this is what's going on. And I can understand some people in America, both black and white, if you're black and you're kind of like, you know, you have a little money and you know, your esteem is a little higher, and you're white, you don't run into these type things, so it just doesn't register with you. You can't believe your precious police are doing these things. But they are. Not all of them. You keep that in mind. Not all of them. We got great policemen and policewomen. But you also have those rogue cops that I talk about. They come to the force with that in mind. I'm going to kill me some Negroes. Okay? Now, I want you to talk about, now when you talk about restraint, and the reason you see me get a little angry about what's going on, I'm going to show you something that you are not going to believe until you see it yourself. This black man in Carolina was shot in the back as he ran away from a cop for nothing. He hadn't done anything. This guy just shot 8 times and shot this man in the back and killed him. At the same time, you had a white man that was accosting the police. He was a suspect of double homicide, had his hands in his pocket. He said, I'm going to kill you. Come on, kill me if you're bad, kill me. And the cop was saying, no, I don't want to shoot you. I don't want to shoot you. That's the difference between the black and the white. Now, my engineer, I want you to run clip 2 and then follow that with, well, just run clip 2.
Shots.
Now you saw that, right? This man was running away from the police. He hadn't done anything. He thought he was trying to get him for child support.
To shoot a double murder suspect who was charging at him, screaming, shoot me, shoot me. The dramatic scene was caught on that officer's body cam.
Wow, that was long, but this is in New Richmond, Ohio, and the officer's name is Jesse Kidder, who'd only been on the force for a year. His family bought him that body camera after the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson, Missouri. Now, Kidder said he just kept looking for a gun, and even though the guy was yelling, he said he did not want to shoot unless he saw a gun or was attacked, and he never saw a gun. Backup arrived, and the guy did give up. He was arrested. The police chief says that Kidder showed great restraint and maturity. Kidder, by the way, is a former Marine and a Purple Heart recipient, so he's getting major kudos this morning for showing restraint.
You see, now, what was the difference between those two clips that you saw? One, man dead. Two, man alive, arrested. One, black African-American man running away from the cop with no gun, shot in the back, dead. Two, the second one, a white individual coming towards the cop with his hands in his pocket, saying, "Kill me," and wanted for double homicide. He's still alive. Because the cop said, "I don't want to shoot you. I don't want to shoot you. Why? Are they different? Now, the second clip is what should have happened. First clip is what should not have happened. Second clip shows you what happens when white policemen, run upon white suspects. This is what happens. When they run upon black anything, they don't have to be suspect. They can be 12 years old with a toy gun. Shoot them and kill them. That's what the difference is, folks. People don't want to say that. They think it's too harsh. They think you are prejudging, but I'm telling you the truth. Because the truth is what matters. There's a way to change it. I say to you, get up off your duff, get your people together, and get the ballots and attack. Get the ballots and attack, because if you do, you win. America is with you. White, Hispanic, Asian, African Americans are with you when you do that. But if you walk around and moan and whine and cry and don't do anything about it, they're going to keep doing it. Look how long they've been doing it. They're going to keep doing it. You can stop them. You can stop them, and only you can stop them. I mean, when I saw that, I was amazed. I was amazed because I said, that's the way a policeman is supposed to conduct himself. You shoot me only if you see a gun coming out to shoot you. Now, there was another one. I didn't show you that clip. This one guy had two guns. He had a rifle and a handgun. A rifle and a handgun. And with his handgun, he came in the office and just shot up the office full of people. Just shot up the office full of people. And even shot one of the people in the office in the hand. They called the police. Police came, and he was white. And they gave him the same treatment. Drop your gun. I said, drop your gun. Drop it. He was like, I'm going to do anything. I'm going to do it. He has two guns. Two-gun Pete. This is the kind of stuff that I see every day going on in America. And I say to you, what you do is, the way you address that, address it at the polls. Address it at the polls. Yes, go out, march, let them know you're here. Let them know how you feel, because if you don't go out there and march and do the stuff you do, nobody's going to hear you. So you guys are doing a great job when you're going out there, you're marching and you're protesting. I mean, black, white, everybody, because this is not America. America is not ran by 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals. That's what the revolution was about. Getting rid of King George and their people and having a democracy. Now, you got the democracy. You should be voting. And when I see 40% of the eligible people that could vote go out and vote. Those 40% care, and they look at the other 60% and say, well, hey, we can do anything we wanted to them. And especially if you're being affected. Especially if you're being affected. So African American, Hispanic, white, all you guys, get up and go vote. I got confidence in American people. I said this when President Obama first ran for office. I said, if the people have an opportunity, they're going to vote and put him in. And they did. First day of his, the day of his inauguration, this guy McConnell was saying, we're going to get rid of that boy. You know, we're going to do everything we can to destroy him. Couldn't do it. I had said then, President, I didn't tell him this, but I'm saying it to everybody that I saw. If the president go out and talk to the people, he will be reelected. And everybody said, there's no way he's going to be reelected. There's no way. And guess what? He was reelected with no problem because he talked to the people. That's why I say I got confidence in the people here in the United States. But the only problem I got with people in the United States, sometimes you get to a point where you just say, you know what? I don't feel like I'm going to vote today because it's really not worth it. It's worth it. If there's a school board, vote for it. If there's a representative, vote. Alderman, vote. State legislator, vote. It don't mean you're going to be voting every day. This stuff don't happen but every 2 years. So go out and vote. We had a gentleman that was on our program that ran for the school board. He asked if we could go out and support him for the school board. I knew he was a very good person, very good candidate. He asked us, can you deliver this town? He asked me, can you deliver this town for me? I said, yes, we can. And we did. And now he's on the board. He'll make a difference. He'll make a difference. Alderman came here from Chicago on my show. Asked the same thing. Can you guys get out and support me in my ward? Because I want to make a difference. We talked to him. Guy was very intelligent. And guess what? We told him yes. We got out and supported him. And guess what? He's the new alderman in Chicago. I mean, this is the way it goes. If you get out and you do it, it's an easy thing to do. Because some of these people have not been challenged. They just get back in because they're part of the good old boy. I'm talking about black and white and Hispanic, not just, you know, certain individuals. You get rid of, if the black is not doing what he's supposed to do, bounce him. If the man or the woman is not doing this, bounce him. Get him out. Because that's what you do. That's how you run things in this country. I'm going to be on this every time that you see me. I'm going to be on this, and that is getting you out to vote, starting now. Because people say, well, this is 2 years before anything happens. Starting now. We're going to get you up and get you involved because you make the difference. In Chicago, you just had a mayoral election. You scared the hell out of this mayor. You did. You almost put in a person that nobody knew. He only got in the race at the end of the election, and he almost won. What you said to this mayor was that, I don't like what you're doing. I think he heard you. I really do. And if he didn't hear you, guess what? Bounce him. If he heard you, then you're in good shape. You did what you were supposed to do. Okay? So, as time go on, we're going to be looking at all kinds of things that's going on in this city. We're going to be looking at all kinds of things that's going on. So now, one of the things I got, and I'm going to give you, we're going to go do a short commercial. I'm getting a signal that we're going to do a short commercial. But one of the things I want to do, I want to come back and give you some information about the labor and what's going on here in Chicago. You got some movement in this city right now that you need to know about. And then I want to talk about a gentleman that you all need to know. We're going to do that. We'll be right back right after this commercial.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
That's slow. That's slow. Look, he's blushing.
Well, we're back. And as I promised you, we're going to talk about some of the things that's going on in labor here in Chicago. And also, a person I think that you all need to know. Good friend of mine, too. But in Chicago, right now, they're moving. If you know Forrest Claypool, he was president of the Chicago Transit Authority. And he did some things to that union that was unspeakable. And he bragged about it to his friends. He said in the paper that, you know, for what I got from this union, other agencies would kill to get. And he was right. I mean, he raped them. He did everything that you would think that a murderer would do to somebody. And the union guys were so, I don't want to call them out of their name, but they just didn't know what was going on. Maybe in my opinion, they didn't know what was going on. I hate to think that they knew what was going on and let this happen. But one of the things that's happening now, the mayor says that he's going to move him from the Transit Authority because he did such a good job on them and make him his chief of staff so he can do a good job on some of the others too. You know, it's a good thing he's getting out of there because the union's elected another president now that won't tolerate that garbage. So Claypool is one of the luckiest guys you ever want to see because I don't think that stuff will happen now. But I want to just run that clip number 4.
Project, we did it right. Right after being chosen by the mayor to head the CTA, Claypool blasted workers' use of sick time and personal leaves. The union's fired.
There it is. Now just look at the union guys' faces there. They were sitting there like they don't even know what's going on. And this guy fired more people in 3 years than, fired more people in 1 year than the whole union, company did, I think, in 9 years. And nothing, they didn't get any resistance. They had up, I think it was 200 people sitting up ready up for discharge for running these crooked red lights that they have. This president you got now is moving in the direction to rectify that. But there was no resistance before this guy was elected. Some of the things that was going on with them that you're going to hear about in the very near future that you're not going to believe. These things happened during the, I don't want to say administration or non-administration of these unions when the International came in. and even prior to, but it's just unbelievable. We're going to talk about those things as time go on. But what I want to do right now, and we're going to have the president from ATU Local 241 on next Thursday. He'll be on. And hopefully Mr. Tom Osley from St. Louis will be on. He's the founder of Infinite Scholar, the Infinite Scholar program. We're going to have these young kids in at our Infinite Scholar Fair. It's going to be on the 15th of May at 5101 West Harrison at Michelle Clark STEM School. And it's going to be a beautiful affair. We're going to have colleges from all around the country, major colleges and some small colleges, come in, and these kids will be looking to get scholarships. They'll have the opportunity to get scholarships. If you have a kid that's graduating or junior, have them go into infinitescholar.org and just follow the prompts. And it'll tell you how to get to this fair, what you can do, and how wonderful this fair is. Last year, in September, we gave away $19 million in scholarships to these kids. Wonderful. We had two young ladies that got $123,000 offer apiece from Tuskegee. And they may have gotten a higher offer, a little bit later on that day, but they had a $123,000 scholarship apiece. And that's because they were, to me, two little geniuses. They were smart. But even if you are 2.5, get down there. Get down there because you have an opportunity to get a scholarship. You may be doing some other things like working with your church or working with the community. All that stuff adds up on your resume. It tells you how to get in. So that's infinitescholar.org, okay? And you can always reach out to me if you have any questions. And you can get me at talklabor@gmail.com, or you can call 708-207-5225, and you can get that information there. Okay, so now I'm going to go into another area, and this is a gentleman that you need to know. He's unbelievable. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a number of years, and I call him player every time I see him because he's a player. He has a girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Maddie Skinner. His girlfriend's name is Maddie Skinner. He just met her last year. And his girlfriend is 95 years old. And guess what? He's 99 years old. And Chicago, the Channel 2 News did a special on him. And I want you to run that clip right now if you can.
Bowling is his passion, and not just because of the game. He loves the people and the companionship.
It may even be his special secret for living a long life. Harry Porterfield says Arthur Bradford is someone you should know.
If you're a bowler and you're looking for a lane at the Olympia Lanes Bowling Alley in Hammond, Indiana on a Friday morning, you need to be on the waiting list. That's when members of the William Mercer Men Over 55 League are busy bowling on all 40 of the establishment's lanes. And no one is more enthusiastic about the activity than Arthur Bradford. He organized the league nearly 50 years ago.
My thing is about bowling. It's a family affair. You can take your wife, you can take your daughter, and everybody can go and have fun together.
Well, since it began, the league has grown from only 4 teams to what is reputed to be the largest men's senior bowling league in America.
It's just another game with friends. Meet, have fun, talk about whatever.
Bradford lives in Chicago and drives to Hammond every Friday to be part of the action as a spectator, not as a bowler. He gave that up not too long ago.
I have Mr. Friday during the cold weather we had. I was here.
Bradford is 99 years old. He was born November 20th, 1915. This year, he'll be 100. League member Jerry Williams.
When I grow up, I want to be just like Mr. Bradford is a great person.
He's sharp as a tack. You know he's got a girlfriend, right?
No, tell me about it.
You met a young lady. She's 95 years old.
Jerry Weems is president of the league.
The fact that he's here every week is encouragement and something that we need. He's just an example to everyone. I know he stopped, but he just stopped a few years ago.
Do you think bowling has kept you around for so many years?
Yes. Must be relaxed. Go out there and roll the ball the best you know how.
99-year-old Arthur Bradford, league organizer, bowling enthusiast, and one of the most popular people at Olympia Lanes. Certainly, he's someone you should know. Kate? Rob?
You know what? That may be his secret, because there he is on a cane.
That's right.
But I'm sure that bowling is keeping him going.
I'm sure it is, too.
Yeah.
Kate and I agreed. I don't think we've ever been bowling before noon. That may be a secret, too, getting them people before they're fully awake.
That's not a bad idea.
And it might be half price, too. We'll have to check it out. Thanks, Harry.
Right, thanks.
Mr. Brad is 99 years old. He'll be 100 in November. Now, he still drives. He drives his car to the bowling alley every Friday. He's amazing. He's an amazing person. Now, he started that bowling league, and that league is the largest senior league in the United States. It's a 40, if you know anything about bowling, 40 teams, and you have over 12 teams waiting to get in. It's such a popular league. And he said he started out with, this guy can give you more history. He said he started out with 6 people. Him and this guy, they just got off work and said, hey, let's go start a bowl, let's bowl something. Then they started a little league with 6 people, and it grew and it grew and it grew. Now it's like over 270-something people that is in that league. And it's just fantastic. I think there's nothing like it. There's nothing like Mr. Brad. Sharp as a tack. He can tell you about things that's going on, like the things that's going on that went on in Ferguson and all that. Mr. Brad knows all about it and tell you more history about things like that than the news or you're going to read in books. So he's like a walking encyclopedia. He talked about everywhere he came from, and what a life. What a life this man is still having. That's Mr. Aaron Bradford. Aaron Bradford. He before he quit, he was my teammate. As a matter of fact, he brought me in to replace him some years ago. So, hey, this is fantastic. We're going to talk about Mr. Brad some more. But I want to, before I leave here, let you know that my guest next week is going to be Mr. Tom Osley from Infinite Scholar. He's going to talk about how he got it started, what he does. This man is like, he's a brilliant individual. The NAACP is honoring him at the NAACP Music Awards in November 7th in Hollywood, California, because of all the work he's done with kids, high school kids graduating. He's been doing this since 2003, and he's been responsible for over $1 billion in scholarships going to these kids. He got a letter from one of his students that got a scholarship. This lady, next time I come on, I'm going to give you just a little synopsis of that lady's letter. She's a brilliant person now, and she thanked Mr. Osley for what he did, and I'm going to bring it on. I won't talk about it. I'm going to bring that letter with me the next time. And also next week, I'm going to have one of the most powerful people in the state of Illinois on this show, the show that you made #1. And that's going to be Mr. Tommy Sams. He's the president of ATU, Local 241, one of the most powerful unions in the country. He's going to be on this show to talk about labor, to give you an update as to what's going on in labor and what's going on in the city of Chicago. Okay? So with that, we're going to say, just go to the polls. Go to the polls. Keep marching. Stay out there on these people. Make them hear you. Make them see you. And Mom, when your son is doing something great, like standing up for himself and his people, don't go out there smacking him. I know you may have gotten a little angry You know, I'm not going to beat you up, but you don't want him to get hurt out there. That's your baby. But don't go to smacking him around. Just grab him by the coat and pull him on, you know. Because I know how it is. I was the only boy in the family, you know, and the boys looking at it, man. They're going to ride him for 6 months, Mom. You know, but don't do that. And, you know, I understand, you know, how you felt, but don't do that. And people, keep in mind, watch what goes on. They didn't do anything. They looked at her as a hero, which is okay. But then they looked at Adrian Peterson as some monster because he whipped his kid with a switch, you know, and tried to take away his earnings. I think that sometimes I believe that they really don't want to see these men making that kind of money. They're trying to attack Jameis Winston before he even gets drafted. He's getting drafted tonight. Before he even gets drafted, they're trying to, he was accused of rape, but he was found innocent. Roethlisberger was accused of 2 or 3 rapes. You never said anything. You never said anything. I heard big head Keith Olbermann, who I used to like, said that Floyd Mayweather was accused of battery years ago, so don't watch the fight. Well, the only reason people are not going to watch the fight because they can't afford it. They're going to be watching the fight. But, you know, again, Roethlisberger, Keith, you know, he was accused of 2 or 3 rapes. And a couple of them he did. You didn't say don't watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, did you? So stop that, man. We see through you now. Stop it. Okay, this is the Talk Labor. This is Talk Labor. We talk about labor. We talk about the community. We talk about the kids. We talk about you. We talk about the rich. We talk about the poor. And this is your megaphone every Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30, right here on Star Planet TV and Talk Labor with Jerry Williams. I'll see you next week.
It's time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.